flipping through the newspapers, switching through multiple news channels, exploring different websites and online mediums for relevant news? Keeping up to date with important news is not only time-consuming but also requires meticulous upkeep of notes for thorough revision. With a limited period in hand and abundant resources to study from, do not let current affairs come in the way of your prelims success. Join the PT 365 program by Vision IAS and advance in your preparation for current affairs. Starting on 9th January at 5 p.m., this 20-day course offers comprehensive coverage of 1 year of current affairs in 60 hours. Join for improved knowledge with complete coverage of The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times, Yojana, Economic Survey, etc. Doubt-clearing sessions and mentoring for thorough knowledge. Access to Sandhan personalized test with 25,000 plus questions. Access to live and online classes for flexibility in timing. It's time to devote your energy to smart learning and not running. Enroll today and excel in UPSC prelims with a strong command of current affairs.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. India and Qatar elevate bilateral ties to strategic partnership. The Supreme Court issues directions on remission. 3 rare Kalyana Chalukya-Era Kannada inscriptions discovered in Telangana. Global warming is increasingly exacerbating water gaps according to a study. Soil Health Card Scheme completed 10 years. Peatlands hold more carbon than all the world's forests, yet dangerously underprotected, says study. In a significant diplomatic move, India and Qatar have elevated their bilateral ties to a strategic partnership. This major development took place during the state visit of the Emir of Qatar to India, with both nations aiming to strengthen cooperation in key sectors include trade, energy, investments, technology, food security, and people-to-people ties. To enhance this strategic partnership, both sides have set an ambitious goal: doubling bilateral trade to $28 billion in the next 5 years. Now, let's take a look at the key outcomes of this visit. 2 important memorandums of understanding or MOU were signed, covering the avoidance of double taxation and the prevention of fiscal evasion. Additionally, to boost business and investment collaboration, MOUs were signed between the Qatari Businessmen Association and the Confederation of Indian Industry, as well as between Invest Qatar and Invest India. Moving on to India-Qatar ties, let's first talk about economic relations. The bilateral trade between the 2 nations stood at $14.08 billion in 2023-24, with an effective trade deficit for India. Notably, India was among Qatar's top 3 export destinations in 2022-23 and is also one of its top 3 import sources. Shifting focus to energy cooperation, Qatar plays a crucial role in India's energy security. It is India's largest supplier of liquefied natural gas, accounting for more than 40% of total LNG imports. On the defense front, the 2 nations have maintained strong cooperation. The India-Qatar Defense Cooperation Agreement, which was extended for 5 years in 2018, continues to strengthen military ties. Additionally, both countries regularly engage in the bilateral naval exercise Zair al-Bahr. India also actively participates in Qatar's biennial Doha International Maritime Defense Exhibition and Conference, known as DIMDEX. Beyond defense and trade, cultural exchanges have played a pivotal role in strengthening ties. Under the 2012 Agreement on Cultural Cooperation, both countries have witnessed regular activities and engagements. The Indian Cultural Center in Qatar has been instrumental in fostering these relations. And finally, people-to-people ties remain a significant pillar of India-Qatar relations. With a vibrant Indian community of over 830,000 people residing in Qatar, the cultural and economic bonds between the 2 nations continue to flourish. With this strategic elevation, India and Qatar are set to deepen their partnership across multiple sectors in the years to come.
In a significant development, the Supreme Court has issued key directions regarding the remission powers of the appropriate government in the re-policy strategy for grant of bail case. This ruling clarifies the framework under which the government can remit either wholly or partially the sentence of convicts. To understand this better, we first look at the legal provisions. The remission powers of the government are governed by Section 432 of the Criminal Procedure Code or CRPC and Section 473 of the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita or BNSS. These provisions outline the authority and conditions under which remission can be granted. Coming to the key directions, the Supreme Court has made it clear that states and union territories which already have a remission policy must consider eligible convicts for remission even if they have not applied for it. On the other hand, states or union territories without a remission policy have been directed to formulate one within 2 months. This ensures a uniform approach across the country. Furthermore, the conditions for granting remission must be reasonable, specific, and feasible, keeping in mind the nature of the crime and public safety. At the same time, any decision to revoke remission must be based on recorded reasons, and the convict must be given an opportunity to respond. This safeguards the principles of fairness and due process. Now, what exactly is remission? It refers to the reduction or mitigation of a sentence imposed on a convict, without altering the nature of the sentence itself. The power to grant remission is also enshrined in the Constitution. Under Article 72, the President has the authority to grant pardons, reprieves, respites, or remissions of punishment and to suspend or commute sentences, while Article 161 provides similar powers to the governor for offences under state laws. The Supreme Court has reinforced its position on remission through several landmark judgments. In the Mafa Bhai Moti Bhai Saga case 2024, the court ruled that once remission is granted permanently, it cannot be withdrawn or cancelled without giving the convict an opportunity to be heard. Similarly, in the Mahendra Singh case 2007, the court clarified that while remission is not a fundamental right, convicts do have a legal entitlement to be considered for it. Lastly, in the Keher Singh case 1988, the court emphasized that prisoners cannot be denied chance for sentence remission, as doing so would violate rehabilitation principles. With these directions, the Supreme Court aims to establish a fair and structured remission process across the country.
A remarkable discovery has been made in Telangana. 3 rare Kannada inscriptions from the Kalyana Chalukya era have been found. These inscriptions date back to 1129 CE, 1130 CE and 1132 CE, during the reign of Emperor Someshwara III, Bhulok Malladev of the Kalyana Chalukya dynasty. What do these inscriptions reveal? The first inscription provides detail about the construction of the Bijeshwara temple and mentions donations made by a local village chief. Meanwhile, the second and third inscriptions record further donations made to the temple, shedding light on the patronage of temples during that period. But who were the Kalyana Chalukyas? Also known as the later or Western Chalukyas, they are considered descendants of the Chalukyas of Badami. Their rule extended over the Deccan region from 973 to 1180 AD, with Kalyan in present-day Karnataka's Bidar district as their capital. The dynasty was established by Tel II, who notably defeated Rajaraja Chola in 992 AD. The Kalyana Chalukyas were known for their architectural brilliance. Some of their major temples include Kashi Visheshwara at Lakundi, Mallikarjun at Kuruvati, Kalleshwara at Bagali, Mahadeva at Itagi. They were also famous for their ornate stepped wells, known as Pushkarni, used for ritual bathing. A notable example is the Manikeshwar temple stepped well in Lakundi. The period saw a flourishing of both Sanskrit and Kannada literature. Prominent Kannada writers included Pamp, Ran, Durgasimha and Nagvarma. On the religious front, various sects of Shaivism such as Pashupat, Lakulish and Kalmukh were widely practiced. This era also witnessed the rise of new social and religious movement led by Baswanna. This discovery adds another chapter to India's rich historical and cultural legacy. Such findings not only deepen our understanding of the past, but also highlight the architectural and literary contributions of the Kalyana Chalukya dynasty. A new study has sounded the alarm on how global warming is increasingly worsening water gaps worldwide. But what exactly are water gaps? Well, they represent the difference between renewable water availability and water consumption while maintaining sufficient flow in aquatic ecosystems. Let's begin with the global picture. According to the study, nearly 458 billion cubic meters of water gaps exist across all continents. As the planet warms, these conditions will intensify. At 1.5 degrees Celsius warming, water stress will worsen, and at 3 degrees Celsius, the situation could be even more severe. Interestingly, while most regions will face increasing water scarcity, global warming will also alter precipitation patterns, reducing water gaps in some countries such as Nigeria. Now, let's shift our focus to India, which is among the nations facing the largest water gaps alongside the US and China. The study warns that India will witness the most significant increase in water gaps under warming scenarios, particularly in the major river basins like Ganga, Brahmaputra and Godavari. The situation is already alarming. India has 18% of the world's population, but only 4% of global water resources. Over 600 million people in the country are already struggling with severe water shortages. Looking ahead, by 2030, water demand is projected to double the available supply, leading to severe scarcity and an estimated 6% loss in GDP as per Niti Aayog. But what is fueling this crisis? The key reasons include overpopulation, excessive groundwater extraction, water contamination, pollution, poor water management, and of course, climate change. To tackle this crisis, several measures have been implemented. National Water Mission aims at integrated water resource management to conserve water and reduce wastage. Atal Bhujal Yojana, a central sector scheme focused on sustainable groundwater management with community participation. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana works to enhance farm water use efficiency and promote sustainable conservation practices. National Hydrology Project, designed to improve water resource management across the country. With the looming threat of climate change and increasing demand, India's water crisis needs urgent and sustained action.
A milestone moment for Indian agriculture, the Soil Health Card Scheme or SHCS has completed 10 years since its launch in 2015 at Suratgarh, Rajasthan. Introduced to help state governments issue soil health cards to farmers, this initiative has played a crucial role in promoting sustainable farming practices across the country. SHCS has now been merged into the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana or RKVY as a component under the name Soil Health and Fertility from the year 2022 to 23. This move aims to further strengthen soil health management in India. Talking about the scheme itself, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare spearheads this initiative with two primary objectives: issuing soil health cards every 2 years to all farmers and developing and promoting soil test-based nutrient management to enhance nutrient use efficiency. Now, how does this scheme benefit farmers? The soil health cards provide detailed information about the nutrient status of the soil, along with recommendations on the appropriate dosage of nutrients needed to improve soil health. The card contains 12 key parameters covering macronutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, and potassium, micronutrients such as zinc, iron, copper, boro, and manganese, as well as pH levels, acidity or basicity, electrical conductivity, and organic carbon content. To facilitate this process, the government has set up village-level soil testing labs and developed a soil health card portal to ensure a uniform and standardized format for SHCs across the country. The implementation of this scheme is being carried out by the Department of Agriculture in all states and union territories. The Soil Health Card Scheme offers several key benefits to farmers. It provides free or affordable soil testing, ensuring cost-effective access and wide availability of soil health analysis. Additionally, it enables timely and accurate results, delivering quick outcomes with precision in analysis. The scheme promotes optimized fertilizer use, helping farmers reduce costs while preventing the over-application or under-application of fertilizers. Furthermore, it offers customized nutrient recommendations, allowing for personalized nutrient plans and data-driven decision-making. These features collectively enhance soil management, improve crop productivity, and contribute to sustainable farming practices. Now, let's look at the key achievements of SHCs over the years. A staggering 24.74 crore soil health cards have been generated so far. The number of cards issued to farmers has also seen a remarkable jump from 16 lakh in 2020-21 to 53 lakh in 2024-25. Additionally, the Soil and Land Use Survey of India has generated 1,987 village-level soil fertility maps covering 21 states and union territories. With a decade of impact and ongoing advancements, the Soil Health Card scheme continues to empower farmers with scientific insights for better soil management, improved crop yields, and sustainable agriculture. Moving on, a recent study has revealed a startling fact. Peatlands, which store more carbon than all the world's forests combined, remain dangerously underprotected. These terrestrial wetland ecosystems are unique because waterlogged conditions prevent plant material from fully decomposing. Consequently, production of organic matter exceeds its decomposition, which results in a net accumulation of peat. Now, let's look at the key findings of the study. It highlights that only 17% of peatlands fall within protected areas, and even among those, just over half are under strict protection. The level of protection also varies by biome. Boreal peatlands are 16% protected, whereas temperate and tropical peatlands fare slightly better at 27%, with only 8% of tropical peatlands receiving strict protection. Interestingly, there are regional and country-level disparities. Countries like China and India show relatively higher levels of peatland protection. However, when compared to other ecosystems, peatlands remain significantly underprotected. For instance, mangroves have 42% protection, salt marshes 50%, and tropical forests 38%, making the case for stronger conservation efforts. So why does this matter? Peatlands are the largest carbon store on land, despite covering only 3% of the Earth's land surface. They serve as natural water filters and act as buffers against environmental disasters. Moreover, they support biodiversity conservation by providing habitat for freshwater fish and endangered species, while also ensuring livelihood protection for local communities by supplying food and fuel. However, these ecosystems face multiple threats. Drainage and land conversion of peatlands damage them and contribute to nearly 5% of global anthropogenic CO2 emissions, making them a major source of greenhouse gases. Additionally, in mountainous areas, peat can be vulnerable to degradation through overgrazing, and peat extraction for fuel and horticulture further accelerate habitat degradation. Recognizing these challenges, several initiatives have been undertaken to protect peatlands. The Global Peatland Initiative, led by the UN Environment Programme, is working to accelerate conservation efforts worldwide. The Ramsar Convention of 1971, an international treaty for wetland conservation, also covers vital peatland ecosystems. In India, the Wetlands Rejuvenation Programme launched by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in 2020 aims to rejuvenate over 500 wetlands across the country. Additionally, the Amrit Dharohar scheme, introduced in the Union Budget 2023-24, focuses on optimizing the use of wetlands for ecological and economic benefits. With peatlands playing a crucial role in climate regulation and biodiversity conservation, urgent and enhanced protection measures are the need of the hour. In today's Place in News, we turn our focus to the Republic of Costa Rica with its capital San Jose. Costa Rica has agreed to serve as a transit hub for Indian immigrants deported from the United States, marking a key development in migration policies. Let's look at the political and geographical features of the country. Costa Rica lies on the Central American Isthmus, bordered by Nicaragua to the north, Panama to the southeast, the Caribbean Sea to the northeast, and the Pacific Ocean to the southwest. Geographically, the country features two major mountain ranges, Cordillera Volcania in the north and Cordillera de Talamanca in the south, with Mount Chiripo at 12,530 feet as its highest point. Notable volcanoes include Erazu, Poas, and Arenal, and the climate is hot and humid tropical.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. Recently, Brazil approved its entry into OPEC+. OPEC is a permanent intergovernmental organization comprising 12 oil exporting developing nations, though India is not a member. It was created at the Baghdad Conference in 1960 by Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela. C40 cities and UN Habitat have announced a landmark partnership to transform urban planning. They will launch an urban planning accelerator which aims to cut city emissions by 25% by 2050, while also promoting safer, fairer, and more inclusive urban spaces. The Indian Naval Sailing Vessel or INSV Tarini participating in the Navika Sagar Parikrama 2nd expedition reaches Port Stanley, the port of call. Located on East Falkland, Port Stanley is the capital of the Falkland Islands. A port of call is an intermediate port where ships customarily stop for supplies, repairs, or transshipment of cargo. APEDA organized the participation of Indian exporters at BioFatch 2025, which was held in Germany. BioFatch is the world's leading trade fair for organic food. APEDA is an apex body for agricultural export promotion in India, functioning under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The Ministry of Heavy Industries signed an agreement with Reliance New Energy Battery Limited under the Production Linked Incentive or PLI scheme for ACC. ACC refers to new generation advanced storage technologies which have much higher energy densities, both volumetric and gravimetric, than conventional ones. A new study estimates that physical parameters of the thermal and magnetic field structures of solar coronal holes. Coronal holes appear as dark areas in the solar corona in extreme ultraviolet and soft X-ray solar images. They appear dark because they are cooler and less dense regions than the surrounding plasma. Distributed denial of service or DDoS attacks have targeted Karnataka's Kaveri 2.0 portal. A DDoS attack is an attempt to overload a website or network with the aim of degrading its performance or even making it completely inaccessible. These attacks are part of the broader category of denial of service attacks or DOS attacks, which includes all cyber attacks that slow down or stop applications or network services. A study published in Science Advances reveals that bacterial cellulose acts as a band-aid for plant healing. Bacterial cellulose is a natural polymer produced by certain types of bacteria. It has a unique structure with high purity, strength, and water-holding capacity. Its applications include medicine, wound dressing, etc., food, packaging preservation, etc., cosmetics, and agriculture. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.